The concept of the Preservation Field School with the Concrete Industry Management Program at California State University Chico began about 4 years ago with groups of students traveling to Pointe du Hoc, Normandy, France, to work on the German bunkers, doing evaluation and analysis, with the idea that bringing it closer to home and making the opportunity available to more students, Alcatraz came to mind, and here we are 4 years later, having spent 2 years now working on the island.
I think one of the great things about this project is there really was no precedent for how to do this, and the first year we all had to figure it out together. The administration, the faculty who were willing to step up and get involved, spend their summer in Alcatraz, and our sponsors who've been incredible. They paid for student stipends, they paid for materials, and I can't imagine doing this without their recognition and support. And secondly, to come out of this with a cooperative agreement with the National Park Service to continue the field school, I think is a real testimonial to the value that the Park Service sees in what our students are able to do.
This cooperative agreement, through the great efforts of Abby Sue Fisher, Stephen Haller, and Jason Hagan, and all the details that go into formalizing this concept, has resulted in a commitment of $35,000 a year from the National Park Service, which pays student stipends and housing needs while they're down there in the Bay Area, and sets us up for the next 4 years and hopefully beyond.
First, Tanya had given a presentation about the whole Alcatraz Preservation Field School that was going on in San Francisco, and it caught my eye because I wanted to get into the repair industry.
I had heard that it became a 5-year plan to kind of continue on the field school learning experience for our students. I jumped on the opportunity, went to the meetings and everything, and said, you know, I have a chance now, I want to be a part of it.
Everybody's heard a lot about it, so it's one of those things that you hear about and you're like, oh, I want to do that. So got more information from Tanya, went to a couple meetings.
The process of getting selected was, just like anything else. You fill out an application and you submit a cover letter and maybe some examples of work.
In addition to that, I included a resume, a cover letter, and a little, I believe it was a letter recommendation as well from somebody else.
Well, it always kind of been a dream. Live in the Bay Area, work in the Bay Area, and to be there for 10 weeks was perfect, or the opportunity to be there for 10 weeks was perfect.
Internships are an integral part, a required part, of the CIM curriculum at Chico State. The field school at Alcatraz affords those students interested in the repair aspects of the industry that hands-on experience. They have to apply for this position. It's not an automatic given, so they have to demonstrate not only skills and a background, but also the intention and the interest and the excitement to be as involved as this field school demands.
In last year's pilot program, the students kind of fell into their own roles throughout the summer. This year we decided to start with set out job titles. Our student leader was Brandon Eagles, our PR manager was Phil Peterman, Ken Garcia was in charge of the demolition. We had Brian O'Hare doing our forming and scaffolding. Brian Peart was our financial officer. Greg Hollingshed was our scaffolding manager and tool manager. And Sophia Salazar was our safety technician. Rounding out the group was Stephen Aguilar, who was our aesthetic repair technician.
The most important thing, of course, was being a team member. Since it was a team project, everybody helped one another to complete common goals, whether it be doing demolition work with Ken or working on scaffolding with Greg or form work with Brian O'Hare. It was really important that everybody worked together to achieve the end result that we all desired.
And of course the addition of Andrew Billingsley as the project manager allowed a greater degree of complexity with things like scaffolding and logistics. The field school is an opportunity for those students interested in repair to get the hands-on experience with not only the technical aspects, but the management aspects as well.
This year was a little bit different than last year. We had a larger crew of students, so we were able to take on a little bit bigger of a project. We worked on the lower portion of the puppy stairs, repairing the first set of stair treads, the bottom landing, and the second set of stair treads. We plan to return next year to finish the upper half of the puppy stairs, along with another project.
We've taken the idea of concrete repair into the field. We have to integrate and work with the Secretary of the Interior Standards for the Treatment of Historic Properties because it is a National Historic Landmark.
My thought going into it is, what the heck are we getting ourselves into? As far as I knew, we were going to work on a puppy staircase. I didn't know what a puppy stair was when we started it. Came to find out there's a backstory to why it's called the puppy stairs, and they're a bunch of short little treads.
The story goes as I'm sure you've heard before, that it was, one of the wards had a corgi, Scottish corgi, short-legged dog.
The steps were built especially small so that the dog could travel up the stairs with them to the cell house.
And over time, those steps became less used because that warden left, and then the history of the island continued, and the steps have deteriorated. And therefore, we actually went in and repaired the staircase this year because the National Parks wants to use that as an access point for tourists to get to the gardens. And so it's our job to go in and find out which reinforcement could be repaired and which had to be replaced, and then rebuild the concrete around it.
The whole line of thinking was just different. It wasn't like, you're just putting in new concrete. We're putting in new concrete and then we're trying to beat it up. We're trying to age it a little bit and make it look like it's been there for a couple hundred years.
But we also want to be structurally sound. We want the surface to be durable, and we want the concrete performance level to be high. And so basically we won't be having to redo the repairs over and over again.
In the case of the puppy stairs, we had no drawings on which to record our information for our investigation and analysis. So some colleagues of mine from Texas A&M University brought their 3D laser scanning equipment, and we did detailed laser scans, and the students got hands-on experience with yet one more piece of equipment through that experience.
Working with A&M has always been a great honor. We were a part of a project with them in Pointe du Hoc, Normandy. We were able to further our connection by bringing out 3 of their faculty from the Center for Heritage Conservation: Robert Warden, Julie Rogers, and Lonnie Champagne. Having them out here was really an honor. They were able to bring out their RiScan 3D laser scanner and take images around the island.
We got to really get some hands-on experience, moving the equipment around, testing it, using it. Those of us who were more interested in it got to stick around and have some longer days, just basically getting the full experience.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see the technical aspect of the laser scanner. I mean, I've never seen anything like that, so it was really cool to check that out and to learn how to use it, learn what it's used for, how to set up targets.
It kind of gave us an idea of what the stairs were composed of, and that experience that I gained from doing that with Bob, Julie, and Lonnie, that's something that not everyone would be able to do.
The scanning technology is going to be a huge benefit to our program for showing a before and after of the work we do, as well as documenting the current condition of the island. The National Park Service has a huge opportunity here for documentation purposes to turn all of the old hand-drawn paper drawings of the island into a new digital era.
One aspect of the field school that we discussed with the Park Service early on was including volunteer events where our college students interact with high school students that come as a group to work on any aspect really throughout the Golden Gate Park, not just Alcatraz. And it has turned into a valued tradition for us now. And it shows students at both levels the potential for careers in cultural resource stewardship or repair or any aspect of working on a historic site.
This year we worked on cleaning up some graffiti and the general area of some bunkers on the southwest side of the Golden Gate Bridge.
We were working on Battery Godfrey, I think it was, right there by the Golden Gate in the Presidio.
Working with these underclassmen really is privileging to see people that are so interested in the Park Service but don't have the means to get there necessarily.
And to see them be interested in that, to want to be involved, it was really a great thing for me. I really enjoyed working with them.
And then there's the concept of decorative concrete. We experimented with it last year on the pilot project. This year we took it to a new level, made it an integral part of the process from day one, and that included Shelley Rigsby, one of the country's top decorative concrete experts.
And she was basically, I kind of followed her and she helped me out so much, and it was really awesome just to get to know her, and it's really cool to kind of job shadow her and just see all of her views and how she takes a step back and evaluates a project beforehand.
The partnership that makes this field school work has to include, of course, the Park Service and the university, but it doesn't work without the industry. Their donation of materials and expertise, that's what makes this whole concept work.
We had several companies which were big donors, the first of which was BASF, the chemical company. They donated all of the 0C, which was the repair material we used to work on the steps.
Hilti provided all our power tools and a lot of our hand tools that we worked with. also huge. We use their stuff every day, like, you know, alongside the BASF equipment.
And we definitely couldn't have done it without Hilti. They made a large donation to us as far as donating grinders. We got a mixer donated for us.
We had other companies that donated safety gear. And as a buffer, I'm going to throw in, we had Quikrete donate a van to us to use for transportation to and from the island.
Well, the van was donated to us by Alan Law from Quikrete, and it got painted Quikrete yellow, and we ended up naming the van the Turbo Twinkie.
Having a vehicle like that to transport all the students in was great, and the patron support as always has been stellar.
But our patrons are there every day, 24/7. You know, anytime we need anything here, sending us on trips, going to conferences, whatever, getting all that industry experience that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get.
Without the patrons, we wouldn't be able to do anything like this, and especially without Tanya. Tanya puts a lot of time and effort into organizing this field school for us.
She does so much, you know, she does all the behind the scenes work, and she was still really helpful with all the repair stuff. And so it's really great just to have everybody there, you know, working as a team. Just, you know, having people that you can ask questions, that you can say, you know, I don't exactly understand, you know, what's going on. Can you help me?
And luckily we had Andrew on the team as the project manager, who, I mean, he's been around concrete his entire life, and so got to learn a lot of finishing techniques and the proper way to pack the mortar in. Was very helpful.
Everybody came through, and it was definitely a team effort to make this all happen.
I knew it was huge. I knew the project was huge for us beforehand, but after experiencing it, I mean, this experience, this amount of knowledge that you gain out of this is really second to none.
Being on Alcatraz definitely exposed me to aspects of a career that I want to go into, such as project management, organization, working with other people, even some clashing personalities. We all had to learn, you know, how to work with each other and how to get along every day, which is something that's very important in the industry.
This year as a project manager, I was able to work side by side with Jason Hagan of the National Park Service. His job is a historical architect for the Golden Gate National Recreation Area, and being able to make the decisions and go through the planning process with him was a great benefit for myself.
The greatest experience for me on a personal level was when the last day when I picked up the last tool and I was able to step back and see our project completed up to the time that we had, and it was a heartwarming experience because I could say to myself and to others that I played a part in restoring a national landmark that most people may never have the chance to do.
The students from the first year on Alcatraz have taken their experience and their opportunity and turned it into a career path. 3 of them are working for one of the world's largest repair contractors. 2 of them have been promoted in their jobs already. And another, Trevor, is here on the Chico State campus finishing his master's degree in a repair path as well.
The repair aspect is such an important part of my education and my professional future. I've continued on, I'm actually getting a graduate degree in it because I see so much possibility out there for what I can do, and my interests have aligned completely with it, and I think a large part of that is because of what I've learned on Alcatraz.
When I first visited the field school last year, I realized what an incredible hands-on experience it was for our students that also incorporated all of their management skills, opportunity to make an impact on a historical site that truly has a great value to our country.
It's amazing how in 2 short years this field school has developed into something that really has taken on a life of its own. It has become an integral part of the concrete industry management program at Chico State. After the first year of our 5-year cooperative agreement, we expect this to continue to grow, include perhaps students from other departments throughout the college and the university, and look forward to many more years of great success on the island.